welcome to the Teaching Corner. Today I'm going to take you on the road with me and I'm going to show you what it's like to be an itinerant teacher for the deaf and hard of hearing. I apologize for the light. It's 7:11 in the morning, so we're on our way to our first school. Let's go. So it's 7:48. I'm at my first school. I always try to get here just a couple minutes early so I can run to the bathroom and get set up before I see my first student. So here I am at my first school. I just wanted to show you that my first school, I actually am inside a classroom. There's my mobile classroom, and here's where I'll work with my first student. This is the second location where I work with another student at the same school. So this is my next location. I'm in the middle school in a room in the back of the library. Hi, so I just wanted to jump back on, and I finished at the middle school. I was writing an IEP for a student, and now I've come over here to the high school to work with one of my students. I have two students here at the high school and one student at the elementary school that are consultative, which means that I just see them once a month. So I'm here to see that student, and mostly with consultative students, I mostly am just checking in with them, making sure their equipment is working, asking if they're having any problems, making sure that everything is running smoothly and they don't have any issues that I need to talk to a teacher about or something like that. And then also I do a little bit of reading comprehension with them. A lot of times as your students get older and they're getting more independent, you may end up going down to consultative. Sometimes you can end up just doing 504 services where a student just needs accommodations. It just depends on the student and how they're progressing through the thing. So I'm going to run in here and see my students, and I'll talk to you later. So this is my third location at the high school. It's just a room inside their conference room behind the office. I was going to film this last part in the car, but it started to rain, so I hustled into my last school really quickly. I'm back at the middle school to see my last student, so this will be my last little thing. But two things that I was reminded of on the way over here to mention to you is that scheduling as an itinerant teacher can be your arch nemesis. Trying to get everybody's schedule, see the students as many times as you're supposed to see them, and not interrupt teachers' schedules is very difficult. Again, at the current school that I'm at, they've made it pretty easy because they only allow certain people for students to be pulled out at certain times. In the middle school, they call it connections. For high school, it's during like their homeroom period. At the elementary school, it's I think during a particular class, maybe a history class. So depending on your school and your district, they may make scheduling easier for you. Sometimes it's difficult. If you have to drive a long way in between students, it may be kind of an impossibility. So one of my suggestions is always to try to get, of course, your high schoolers and middle schoolers kind of in some ways have to take a little bit of priority in the fact that like they may only be able, you don't want to pull them during an academic time because they need that instruction. So try to pull during a study hall or something like that, or during like an elective or a connection time. The other thing that I just wanted to mention really quickly is teachers. Remember, you're pulling kids out of their classroom, and so sometimes they can look at that not very friendly. So one of the things that I try really hard, and I know I had an issue this at the beginning of this year, a teacher, every time she saw me, she frowned because on the first week of school, there was an issue with a student's FM system, and she wasn't very happy. But I've just constantly made an effort to try to show her that I'm trying to make her job easier. I've gone out of my way to go to central office, to get things, to contact people, to do the things that I'm supposed to do that should be on my plate so I can take them off of her plate. And now every time she sees me, she smiles. And so just remember, sometimes you may be met with a little bit of hostility when you first go into someone's classroom because this is their territory and you're taking a student out of their classroom, you're interrupting their day to do what you need to do, and it's important for the student, but it can seem a little intrusive to them. So I always just try to remain super friendly and smile and remind them, in my actions and my words that I'm really here to make your job easier and to make it so that these students are taken care of and, so that they can be successful in your classroom. So I hope following me around today was fun. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!